I am a firm believer of the fact that it's not what's in the story that's important. It's how you interpret it and apply it to your life that makes a book good or bad. So, whenever I read a book, I make it a point to pull out the key takeaways and organize them in the form of an easy to understand and retain framework and store it somewhere in a digital notebook. So, here are my takeaways from the book Who Moved My Cheese? The cheese in the story are the dreams or the desires or the destiny that you're trying to chase. And maze in the story is pretty much like your life. Your life is never going to be a linear straight line. It is always going to be like a maze. It'll have alleys, it'll have dark spots, it'll have walls that you'll have to cross or find your way through. At its heart, this book is about change. And what I understood about change from this book are these four key things. First, change is inevitable. You can't escape it. Your life is never going to be a flat line of only ups or only downs. There are going to be different opportunities and different moments that you will experience in your life. So accept it and believe it and expect the unexpected. Second, anticipate the change. It's not only important to accept the fact that yes, my life is going to change, it's equally important to almost be prepared for it, to anticipate it. Notice smallest of the changes in your environment, in people around you, in circumstances around you. That will help you mentally prepare yourself for the upcoming change. Third, monitor the change. Once the cycle or the process of change has begun, it's not important just to go along with the flow and the process, but it's important that you monitor it. Keep an eye out for smallest of the things that are not working for you or the smallest of the things that are working for you and accordingly recalibrate, reframe, and reshape what you're doing. Fourth, adapt quickly. We all become complex when we become overeducated or overinformed because that's when our belief systems change and we start overanalyzing and overthinking everything down to the T, trying to gather as much data as we can before we even move a foot. And sometimes that's counterproductive. It's good to have all the data points and facts and figures before you start adapting to the change. But the core theme of the book says adapt quickly. Don't wait for you to come up with the right answer. Don't wait for the perfect answer. Adapt quickly. Last thing that I've understood from the book is take the process lightly. Laugh at your own self. Laugh at the process. Laugh at the ironies of the life. But take it lightly and enjoy the journey. Now, any book comes along with a whole package, a whole bundle of secondary takeaways that you can pull out if you have the time, energy, and willingness to do it. So, here are my secondary takeaways from the book. One of the most interesting facts that I discovered while reading this book is that common sense is the most uncommon thing in the world. I found it to be so interesting that I've written it down in my journal somewhere. As life gives us taste of success, our arrogance starts growing. We become overconfident and we stop noticing signals and beauty around us. We become so accustomed to our comfort zone that we don't want to come out of it anymore. And change becomes more and more difficult for us as we become more successful. What also happens is that if you're forced to change and get out of our comfort zone, we start blaming others. We start blaming people and circumstances for the situation and why we are having to go through this period of change. As we gain success, we also become more fearful of failure. We don't want to take chances. We don't want to fail. Lastly, the book also talks about manifestation and visualization somewhere in between those pages. It does say that if you really very badly want success in life, then you need to believe in the power of manifestation and visualization. A lot of other books have spoken about it, and this is not the core takeaway from the book, but nonetheless, it's definitely one of the secondary takeaways from the book. So that's it for today, my friends. These were my takeaways, both primary and secondary, from this book. If you want to listen to more such book summaries and takeaways, make sure to follow and subscribe.